Alfio Lococo, the newly elected president of the Undergraduate Student Council for 2019-2020, please come forward and accept custody of the mace. Good morning. Please be seated. My name is Marc Monthéard, the Vice President for Student Services, and I'll be serving today as the Master of Ceremonies for this year's graduation ceremony. AUP graduating students, families, friends, and distinguished guests, good morning. It's my pleasure to welcome you to the commencement exercises of the graduating class of 2019. Chers futurs diplômés, chers parents, chers amis et chers invités, bonjour. J'ai le plaisir de vous souhaiter la bienvenue à la cérémonie de remise des diplômes de la classe 2019. This is a day of celebration, a day full of joy for you, graduating students, because we're recognizing your efforts and hard work over the last few years. For you, parents, because they are happy to share your success, which is theirs too. And for us, faculty, trustees, administrators, staff of this institution, because we are proud of your academic accomplishments. You may have ambivalent feelings today, a little bit of nostalgia for the many friends you have made at AUP and whom you will see less often, for the fond memories and the college experience which might be ending for you, unless you decide to pursue graduate studies or more graduate studies for graduate students. For your time in this magical city, the City of Lights, that was sometimes hard to master and call your home, but had so much to offer and with which you probably fell in love, if you've got any common sense. You might also be a little scared or excited with the new challenges ahead. But rest assured that we can't wait to see what you will achieve in the years to come, and have no doubts that you will do well for yourself and for the world that needs you. Let's start now our commencement ceremony, and it is my pleasure to call on Bill Fisher, our Provost, to give the welcome address.
Chairman Henze, President Schenck, members of the boards of trustee, members of the faculty, honored guests, families, and friends of the graduating class, let me also welcome you to this commencement ceremony of 2019 of the American University of Paris. To the graduates of the class of 2019, congratulations. It is an honor and a privilege to be standing here today to celebrate your graduation. It's always exciting at this time of year to see so many excited, hopeful, relieved graduates. Just look at all those happy faces. This is the day. All those hours in the library, all those books read, all those tests taken, all those papers written, all those cups of coffee and other stimulants. This is a significant and special moment of some solemnity that we mark, for good reason, with all appropriate pomp and circumstance, with a ceremony of grandeur. We do not, for instance, dress like this every day, nor parade into rooms, though it would be fun to do so, nor listen always to every single name of every graduate with so much attentiveness. We can only imagine what you're feeling and thinking today This is a moment of great emotion as you think back on all your accomplishments. You're probably filled with joy, with glee even in your accomplishments, some relief that it's over, maybe even some disbelief that you actually made it this far, sadness, perhaps, that some of the best years of your life that you'll spend talking about big ideas, thinking about things, and discussions with your faculty, with your friends, your colleagues, your mentors, and your teachers has actually come to an end. And some anxiety, maybe, about what happens next. And there are so many emotions being experienced by your family members as well. Certainly pride in what you've accomplished, happiness, relief, maybe some anxiety on their part as well. And on the part of the faculty of the American University of Paris, another set of emotions. They too have pride in what you've accomplished. I know a couple of them have disbelief that you've made it all the way through, amazement even, and certainly relief that all the work that they've done to help you get here has paid off. So let me ask the class of 2019 to please stand. You would not be here without a lot of hard work. There may have been days when you felt like you would not make it or could not continue, and yet you did. But now you're here and you achieved this, and so we applaud you and we applaud your accomplishments. But at the same time, we recognize that your achievements required the assistance of so many others. So I invite the graduates to applaud their professors for all the assistance they provided to you over your time here. And if I could ask the graduates to turn to face their families and friends and to acknowledge their contributions to your success as well. So while you're still standing, let me briefly reflect upon your achievements for a moment. Nelson Mandela called education the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world. Paulo Freire, the great Brazilian educator, put it slightly differently, but he exhorted us to understand education as the practice of freedom, the means by which men and women deal critically and creatively with reality and discover how to participate in the transformation of their world. These views of education connect well with the mission of the American University of Paris. The university's mission is to educate its students, you, to communicate well in a world of many languages, to think critically, to develop creative approaches to important contemporary challenges, to be both technologically and culturally literate in a world of swift-paced change, to understand the ethical imperatives of living in the world, and to take your places as responsible actors in communities, civil societies, and countries around the globe. AUP's culture of engagement and global citizenship fosters in students and faculty alike a critical sense of commitment to a world of interdependence. In the multilingual, multicultural learning environment of the American University of Paris, students develop a capacity for ethical and political judgment that's alert to cultural diversity. You, as a group, exemplified these aspirations of the university as members of a university founded on the ambition of finding ways to break down the barriers created by notions of narrow nationalism. You are set on your path of finding ways to build bridges and common community of people from diverse places, backgrounds, and localities, and to take down the walls that divide us brick by brick. You are the living manifestations of that aspiration. As a group, you come from more than 66 countries and speak more than 50 languages. You speak multiple languages, each of you, and move comfortably through multiple cultural contexts, and you've learned to adapt to and respect the languages and cultures of others. You are independent creative thinkers with global perspectives, culturally aware, skillful at engaging diversity and difference, and committed to engaged lifelong learning. And as you are about to take your roles as responsible actors and leaders in the world, you can think of it this way. You entered AUP as global explorers, but you leave as global citizens ready to take your place in the world. To illustrate this, let me follow what has become essentially a tradition at AUP's commencement to highlight one aspect of your skills. For those of you who are now standing, let me invite those of you who only speak one language to please be seated. Those of you who speak 2 languages or less, please be seated. Those of you who speak 3 or fewer, please be seated. Those of you who speak 4, please be seated. The rest of you can now sit down. I offer you 2 last reflections. First, though this is a graduation, it's also a commencement, and you are now part of the American University of Paris community from here on out. It's a commencement, and it begins the next phase of your lives and the next phase of your connection with AUP. The last reflection is upon your education. You're here today to receive a piece of paper, your degree. That degree, that piece of paper, symbolizes your education, but it is not the most essential aspect of what you leave here with. Your education, all that you have learned, all the ways in which you have changed, adapted, and evolved, is now part of you. It can never be taken away from you. It is yours. It is entirely yours. You earned it. You get to keep it. You can never exchange it. Half of it can't be taken away from you in a divorce proceeding. It is not just a degree or a piece of paper. Your education is part of who you are now. It is the way you think, the way you speak, the way you listen, the way you create. Cherish it. Use it. Make us proud. Change the world.
The American University of Paris has a tradition of honoring those students, faculty members, staff members, and distinguished individuals whose performances have been exceptional and whose contributions to the university deserve special recognition. Every year at graduation, we begin with an awards ceremony to honor special achievements in the areas of scholarship, teaching, research, and service to this institution. I now call on Ray Henze, the American University of Paris Chair of the Board of Trustees.
Parents and graduates, welcome. Thank you, Dean Monthéard. It's my privilege to announce these important awards on behalf of the Board of Trustees, and I'd like to ask the trustees on the stage who are joining me if they would stand for a second, please. Elizabeth Ballantyne, Vice Chair of the Board, Achim Kluber, Treasurer of the Board, Doris Donnie, Christina de la Bouchère, and Lee Hebner, trustee and former president of the university. Thank you. The Board of Trustees Valedictorian Prize for Outstanding Scholastic Achievement. The Board of Trustees of the American University of Paris recognizes annually the graduating senior who exemplifies truly outstanding achievement and who, by inspiring admiration for academic excellence, has made a significant contribution to the life of the university. The Board of Trustees Valedictorian Award for Outstanding Scholastic Achievement for undergraduate students goes to Anna Kristen. Anna achieved a cumulative GPA of 3.98, 7 out of 4. The highest in the class. Congratulations. The Sin-Ming Shaw Award. Every year, the Sin-Ming Shaw Award, endowed by a gift from a 1965 alumnus of AUP, recognizes the academic excellence of our finest senior project. The variety and quality of this year's submissions are powerful testimony to the talent of our students, as well as to the dedicated mentorship provided by their faculty advisors. For the winner, the committee unanimously chose Lily Schreider. Lily is a double major in history and art history, and she received the award for her innovative and meticulous historical research. Her senior thesis, Demain and its Network, a magazine's fight against the Great War, explores the transnational connections of an anti-war magazine that was founded in 1916. Congratulations. The Board of Trustees Faculty Awards. The Board of Trustees of the American University of Paris honor each year a professor whose performance in the classroom is exemplary. AUP professors evince the highest possible commitment to the art of teaching and to its central role in a liberal arts education. The Board of Trustees Distinguished Teaching Award for 2018-2019 go to two professors, Hannah Wesley and Taylor Kaufman. Congratulations. Regarding Professor Wesley, a nominating student said, "She has shown herself to be a great leader in the classroom, creating a wonderful environment, ensuring that students are learning a lot. Additionally, she has guided the ASM board by letting the students run the show, by giving occasional input, asking crucial questions about what we want and what we are creating, and has always made herself available when needed for consulting, advice, or input." As a nominating student said of Professor Kaufman, "I've never had a professor like Taylor. His work ethic, optimism, dedication to his students is like anything I have ever experienced. He created an atmosphere of mutual respect and understanding, something so rare in university professors." Congratulations, Professor Wesley and Kaufman. Thank you for upholding AUP's educational mission and for standing as an example to all of us. The award for innovation in instructional design goes to Professor Gail Hamilton. Gail was cited for incorporating research-based task forces into the course Comparative Public Policy, Wither Model Europe. This original co-curricular edition created the opportunity for students to work directly with external clients to solve problems. Dale, congratulations. The award for innovation for interdisciplinary studies goes to Professor Madeline Ziegler. Her course, Paris Fashion Template, represents everything AUP values in interdisciplinary studies. It links various disciplinary approaches through the lens of discovering and understanding Paris. Congratulations, Professor. Wonderful. And finally, the award for outstanding research and publication goes to Professor Anna Rusikoff. The award recognizes her imagining the miraculous images of the Virgin Mary in French illuminated manuscripts, circa 1250 to 1450. This is not only an outstanding piece of innovative scholarship in the field of medieval art history, but also a remarkable publication considering the depth of research, the precision of the writing, and the sheer beauty of its iconography. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I now call on Dr. Celeste Schenck, President of the American University of Paris.
Good morning. The 2019 President's GPS Award. Learning at AUP goes on inside and outside the classroom. And so last year, we launched the Global Professional Skills GPS program to recognize the valuable co-curricular achievements of our students in parallel with their academic work. So that would be participating in study trips and internships, leading clubs or teams, volunteering or tutoring. The program provides an official AUP curricular record to recognize these activities while at the same time preparing our students to craft powerful personal narratives for graduate school and for employers. To all 4 finalists who made their speeches last Tuesday, congratulations all. It is my pleasure today to present the President's GPS Award to a quintessential global explorer, Sarah Sturman. Sarah Sturman, who graduates today with a BA in creative writing, author of a novel about a world she invented, Sardor, dreams of becoming an editor in a major publishing house, practicing what she calls author-based editing. As an AUP freshman, Sarah joined the team at the Writing Lab and rose through the ranks over 4 years to become head tutor. She also served as a member of the editorial team of our literary magazine, Paris Atlantic. Off campus, Sarah sings as a member of the American Cathedral Choir and is learning one particularly French skill, cheese making and mongering. Sarah's collection of life and learning experiences and her ability to present them compellingly to a professional jury embodies the GPS mission. Sarah. The 2019 Staff Award for Distinguished Service goes to Adam Pook. Adam? Adam is a member of AUP's maintenance staff, is an unsung hero, lauded by his peers for his willingness always to go above and beyond the call of duty, supporting events across campus with energy, humor, a can-do attitude, pride in his institution, and admirable patience and tact. Colleagues who work with Adam every day feel he's a pillar of our community and an example of the proactive, solution-oriented service we aim as a community to provide. Thank you. And now the 2019 Distinguished Alumni Award. The greatness of a university can be measured not in the number of buildings or the number of books in a library, but in the impact of its graduates upon the world. This year's Distinguished Alumni Award goes to Amy Sarr Fall. Come over next. Undergraduate 2006, double major in global communications and international business, master's 2007 in global communications. Fluent in French, Wolof, English, and Spanish, Amy is a powerful advocate for the power of active citizenship, something she models every single day. Over the course of her career in communications, Amy has interviewed numerous world leaders, including His Holiness the Dalai Lama, French President François Hollande, and US President Barack Obama. She is the founder of Intelligence Magazine, launched to provide a nonpartisan platform for dialogue about Senegalese politics. She also founded La Grande Rentrée Citoyenne, now in its 6th year, to empower Senegalese youth and promote values of citizenship and excellence. Last year, she launched in Paris the GE7 Global Education Initiative, bringing specialists from 5 continents together to envision the future of quality education for all. A journalist, motivational speaker, champion of youth and women's leadership, and a fledgling politician in her home country of Senegal, where she will certainly someday become president. Amy was recently named one of 10 most influential women in Senegal and listed by New Africa magazine amongst 100 Africans of the year 2018. Oh, I forgot to give you this. So sorry.
Thank you so much.
I now call on Quinn Chesser and Emily Ide, this year's presidents of the undergraduate and the graduate student councils, to present the SGA Awards.
Hello, I'm Emily Ide, and this is Quinn Chesser. We're the undergraduate and graduate student council presidents. We're here to recognize 2 students, 2 staff members, and 2 faculty members for their outstanding contributions to the AUP community.
So I'll get us started with the Undergraduate Student Award. Over the past few years, few students have had as large and as wide of an impact as this student getting the award. While she's been involved ever since she stepped on campus, over the years she's come to hold multiple leadership positions, being the editor-in-chief of Peacock Magazine, serving as our senior class representative, and being one of the founding members of the dance club, which is now an official sport at AUP. Even before she held multiple positions, she could always be found before, during, and after events, dedicating her time and effort to make sure that all of the other students were having as good of a time as she was. So SGA would like to recognize Jacqueline Wegworth for all of the work that you've done.
I'll just give you a little... Thank you. Go away. Okay, great. This graduate student, her experience as a lawyer in the United States has given her a unique and valuable perspective on international human rights and has helped her to exhibit outstanding leadership since her arrival at AUP. As the co-chair of the working group on human rights and digital technology, she was able to present research on the importance of scientific progress and the critical role it plays in the protection of human rights. In Paris and at AUP, she has helped many students in the writing lab. She has been a teaching assistant for Professor Susan Perry's classes. She's showed quality leadership during the École de Guerre and showed up afterwards to share a drink with her fellow graduate students. Thank you to Nicole Santiago for your many and invaluable contributions to the graduate student community at AUP.
We'll give him something later. So as the Director of Financial Aid, this staff member has been very in touch with student needs and works to provide the means for students not only to attend the university, but to appreciate the university and take part in everything that it has to offer. This year, he's done an exemplary job working with the student union to restructure the community grant recipient program and make sure that students are getting properly compensated for the work that they're providing. Working with this many students and with this kind of money could be enough to drive anyone to the brink, but this staff member does it all with a smile, and his door is always open to anyone who needs him. So the SGA would like to recognize Randy Veneer for his enduring and unwavering support for the university.
Many graduate students show up at AUP thinking that it was a really great idea to uproot their lives and move to a country where they didn't necessarily speak the language, and they had no apartment, and no phone, and no bank account, and no pass for transportation. It was a great idea, no? Making sure the small pieces are in place is really critical for ensuring success during your short time as a graduate student at AUP. The recipient of this recognition is a new father of only 3 months, and he didn't skip a beat with his university family. He has no door on his office to close us out, but even if he did, we know that he wouldn't. The SGA would like to recognize Jan Lewis as the master of everything.
So now, this professor has been the head of the business department here at AUP and one of the most dedicated professors on campus. I can tell you that years later, there are plenty of us that still talk about her financial accounting class and how much fun we had, but how much we learned as well. In addition to being a great professor, she does countless work behind the scenes, taking on an advisor role, both officially and unofficially, for students who need it, covering tests and classes for other professors, and sometimes even being someone to talk about the latest NFL games when none of the Europeans know what we're talking about. After more than 11 years at AUP and over 35 teaching higher education, she's taking a well-deserved retirement, and while AUP is sad to see her go, the SGA is very thankful for everything that Diane Bonneau has done for us and this university.
Last, but certainly not least, this professor joined the AUP community in 2008 and has been at the helm of the MAGIC program, the Masters in Global Communications, for the past 4 years. He has been a reliably organized, diligent, and engaged professor and mentor to graduate students in and out of the classroom. Consistently leading by example, he inspires high quality and innovative work from master's students, encouraging us to push past our predefined horizons to consider new understandings of the world by developing theoretical and future-focused communications concepts throughout our graduate studies and beyond. The Graduate Student Council and the SGA would like to recognize Robert Payne for his warmth, positivity, and commitment to graduate students at AUP. Thank you.
Thank you.
Men and women of the class of 2019, Mr. Chair, members of the Board of Trustees, ambassadors, ministers, distinguished guests, faculty, students, parents, families, and friends. It is always a great honor at commencement to present to our gathered community the distinguished individuals on whom we have the pleasure of bestowing honorary degrees. During our graduation ceremony today, we honor 3 such recipients, the first from the field of the fine arts, at a moment when our own art history and fine arts majors have so flourished that we will be renovating a new center for the arts at Monthéard. The second, an economist from our own faculty, a distinguished scholar teacher of Islamic economic systems and Iranian and Middle Eastern histories. The third, from the field of history itself, an eminent historian of the World War I Paris Peace Conference of 1919, whose centennial AUP celebrated this past week at an international gathering of historians, public policy specialists, and diplomats. In bestowing these awards this year, we pay homage not only to 3 outstanding individuals whose life work and contributions to their fields we honor today, but also to thriving disciplines across the curriculum in the humanities and the social sciences. So in the special context of commencement, at this moment in history, in this great city, before this distinguished audience, it is a pleasure to call to the podium our first candidate for the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa, a distinguished representative of the field of art history and the visual arts, gallerist Marian Goodman. May I ask you to come to the podium? Stay. Come to the podium. Marian Goodman, we are honored to recognize your influential career as an internationally celebrated gallerist. Launched when you first traveled to Germany as a young Jewish woman in the years right after World War II, to understand how young European artists were recording the lived life of the war and its aftermath and imagining the future of their countries. You have been widely credited with founding an international community for them, a kind of theater in which they could be seen and known, and in which, alongside peers from France and Italy and Britain and Spain, they could all transcend the national borders that constrained them. You have described the creating of this post-war international community of artists in a field that was wide open to you at the time as one of the great joys of your professional life. By introducing these European artists to American audiences, you have indelibly changed the artistic landscape on both continents. You who studied modern European history in college and dreamed of joining the UN, you found your own way to transcend the narrow nationalisms that have too often divided Europe and the rest of the world. When you founded your first gallery in 1977, you brought to the art world something revolutionary and fresh, a much-needed approach of nurturing the artists you represented without foregoing the steely resolve needed to fight tough battles on their behalf. Your instinct for excellence and your ability to identify talent formed the careers of John Baldessari, Marcel Brodhars, Christian Baltanski, Giuseppe Pennone, Gerhard Richter, and Lawrence Weiner, to name just a few. We also honor the integrity with which you have approached your career and your legacy. The world seems ever focused on fame and celebrity, and gallerists are not exempt. You, however, have steadfastly kept the spotlight on the work of your artists, believing that art performs a profound social function, that of connecting people across their differences by appealing to their souls. Thanks also to your commitment to placing art in museums and public collections, future generations will benefit from your 40 years of border-crossing work. By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees and upon the recommendation of our faculty voting in assembly, I confer upon you, Marian Goodman, the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining. Marian Goodman will say a few words to the graduating class. Did I take your paper?
I have
There's your paper.
Here's my paper. Well, I want to thank the university for offering me
You
this
have to get very
honorary
close.
degree today. I am indeed honored and very pleased to be here. I wasn't going to talk about my career. I was going to talk about certain things that have meant a great deal to me in addition. Certainly, we now live in difficult times, and I would like to share a personal story with you all. In 1964, my nephew, Andrew Goodman, together with many other young people, volunteered to go to Mississippi to help register Black voters who had never much of a chance to vote before. Andrew and two young colleagues set out on their first day in Mississippi to start registering voters. Sadly, they were intercepted by the Ku Klux Klan and murdered on day one. Andrew was 20 years old when he was murdered. Bobby Kennedy, the former Attorney General, made a large effort to find the boys, and after an intense search of several weeks, the bodies of the boys were discovered, and it appeared that many of the local police and Klansmen were involved in their murder. Andrew's mother and his younger brother spent the next years in Mississippi. When the search was on for those men who were guilty, it was their goal to seek justice. Never again should something like that happen. It has now been 55 years since Andrew was murdered, and his brother, along with many others, dedicated their lives to try to change injustice and create a world where such things could never happen again. He dedicated his life to working with college students, believing in a better world. After these many years, he and others have recruited close to 1 million college students who will be able to vote in the next election and make a difference so that such tragedies will not be repeated again, neither in the United States nor in Europe. Excuse me. It has been so important for all of us to take the time to be thoughtful about what we as educated citizens might be able to contribute to making our world a better, safer place, and to join organizations that align with our beliefs and desires to be of help. There are so many problems now that need to be resolved, and we have the great skill, you have the great skills to realize this. The hopes of the future will turn to you to play such an important role. Wishing you all hopes for success in your lives and a chance to construct happy, productive lives above all. What can be gained in efforts to make the world a better place? That's my question, to have a chance to work together. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Marian. Thank you so much for that. Piece of program. Will Dr. Ali Rahnema please step forward? Distinguished guests, it gives me great pleasure to present the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa, to a distinguished member of the AUP faculty representing the field of economics. What a joy it is to bestow an honorary degree upon you, Ali Rahnema, friend and colleague, the first time in the university's history that we have offered one to an active member of the faculty. You have embodied par excellence in your 3.5 decades at AUP the balance of scholarship and teaching essential to a liberal arts learning environment. Your erudition and brilliance in the fields of Islamic economics and Middle Eastern histories, your passion for teaching those subjects, your high expectations for your students, your courses that can be rigorous in the extreme, your tough love sometimes. They've all engendered in your students over the years both devotion and gratitude, as if they recognize that having learned microeconomics at your knee, they can face down with confidence any future challenge. Indeed, as one of your students put it, conquer the world. You have formed generations of students for graduate school, work in think tanks and government, international organizations and companies. Your graduate success beyond AUP rests on a model, ethical in the truest sense, which you have been for them always. Behind your magisterial command of your classroom, though, is always patience and care, what one student called golden-heartedness. Generous mentoring and encouragement, a way of focusing your prodigious energy on each student. One wrote, "It's clear with each lecture he delivers that he spent significant time and effort on it, signaling to us, his students, that he cares what we get out of them." Another put it this way, "I have never had a teacher who took my opinions nor my work so seriously." This kind of intellectual validation and loving, focused attention upon a student by a revered teacher is the hallmark of a liberal education. And you, Ali Rahnema, have practiced both with your characteristic mix of gruff and grace all the years of your tenure. The fact that one of your finest undergraduate students, after earning her doctorate elsewhere, has returned to teach in our economics department, still being mentored by you, closes that circle perfectly. By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees and upon the recommendation of the faculty voting in assembly, I confer upon you, Ali Rahnema, the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining.
Thank you. Thank you.
Would you like to say a few words to the gathering?
Sorry. Dear colleagues and the AUP community, you have humbled one of your fellow teachers. This is a sweet moment. May he be worthy of the honor. President Schenck, you have taken a risk by giving the podium to a teacher. May he not disappoint you. The graduating class of 2019, the architects of tomorrow, congratulations on your academic achievements and welcome to the fold of the hopefully enlightened. The class of 2019, the great news is that you set out to accomplish a task which was most important, and you did. So would you please pat the person sitting on your left on the back? The good news is that you will no longer have to attend those 9 o'clock classes that you dreaded because they forced you out of bed before you wanted to. You will not have to see those teachers and advisors that you did not appreciate for whatever reason. There will be no more exams in courses you did not care for, and finally, you would not become flustered with the grades that you always thought were unfair. The real good news is that you have your whole life ahead of you, and you can dream, yes, dream the impossible dream, and reach the unreachable stars. The bad news is that leaving AUP will not be easy. There are things you're going to miss. You will miss your days of wide-eyed curiosity while you are trying very hard to make sense of mapping, modeling, and comparing the world. Hearing and learning about ideas, theories, and concepts which got you excited and marked you for life. You will crave for the carefree moments of socializing with your friends, most of whom come from a culture and nationality different from yours. And yes, you will miss the classes that you loved and the teachers you cared for, and they too cared for you. You may not think of this, but I assure you, you will have withdrawal symptoms once September comes rolling by and you're not back at AUP or in Paris. Paris, this beautiful city of lights, cafes, and never-ending, grumbling yet lovely Parisians. You will even miss the Saturdays when the angry yellow-vested protesters chose to invade the city and practice democracy. Finally, the bad news is that from now on, you will have to make crucial life choices. Life would only be too easy if it was all predetermined. One wrong choice could have no consequence, but a series of them could lead you down the road of some of our current world leaders, the arrogant, the liars, and the corrupt. Those politicians who end up raining fire in word and in deed on the innocent other in the name of I, me, and mine. A curse which speaks in all languages and under all flags. Now for the difficult news. After the merrymaking and festivities of graduation are over and life is back to its routine, you will have to face the world that we have left you. As a member of the generation who has left you this world, I owe you, the class of 2019, a big and serious apology. My generation's legacy is a mixed bag of diamonds and rust, as Joan Baez would say, where the rust pales the diamonds. The diamonds is still and is and will be in the realm of producing knowledge, science, technology, industry, and the arts. The rust is in the realm of sharing those wonderful products. We have lost our bearings in the fields of human and social relations, ethics, values, humaneness, and basic decency. We have to be reminded that human beings are members of an inseparable whole, incapable of being broken down into one civilization against the other, one nation against the other, one class against the other, one race against the other, one tribe against the other, one religion against the other, one generation against the other, one sexual preference against the other, one taste against the other, and one community against the other. Where is the sharing, compassion, and love in the tarnished I, me, and mine catchwords? Will you, the builders of the new world, genuinely speak in the language of we, us, and ours, or will you make the same mistake as my generation? A 13th century poet of a country which was placed among the members of the axis of evil in the 21st century, posited a fundamental, eternal, ethical axiom. His words later found their echo in Article 1 of the Declaration of Human Rights. He said, "Human beings are members of a whole, in creation of one essence and soul. When one is hurt, others will feel the pain. If you are indifferent to the misery of others, is it fitting to call you a human being?" I will bore you no longer. One last word. Please do not forget to dream of a better world at least 10 minutes a day. Remember John Lennon and sing aloud in the shower, imagine all the people sharing all the world. Get out there and fix the rust, so when in 25 to 30 years from now, you attend the graduation of the new enlightened bunch of the world, wherever it may be, you'll be proud of the choices that you made and the world that you bequeathed to them. Succeed where my generation failed and strive to right what seemed to us to be unrightable wrongs. It needs courage, hope, humanity, and perseverance. May the force be with you.
Will Dr. MacMillan please come to the podium? It gives me great pleasure. It gives me great pleasure to introduce our final candidate for the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa. I am proud to present an honorary degree to a distinguished representative of the field of history. Margaret MacMillan, celebrated scholar of the First World War and its aftermath, you have brought the lessons of history to people far beyond the academy. Your best-selling and fair assessment of Paris 1919, 6 Months That Changed the World, paints a compelling tableau of the peacemakers gathered in the Hall of Mirrors at Versailles 100 years ago next month, bringing alive the competing interests, complex personalities, and political pressures that influenced the post-war peace and, by extension, our national histories, public policy, and international relations for all the years since. Your most recent books focus on, as do your frequent articles in the press, the fact that, and I quote you, we can ignore history, and often do, but it will not ignore us. Most recently in the Wall Street Journal, you analyzed the historical origins of, quote, the turbulent and disturbing world of 2019. Only by studying the complex lessons of history, you suggest, can we hope to uphold the international order based on democratic principles. Many have recognized your power as a historian to stage the past for contemporary readers by writing historical analysis with the flair of the novelist, not the least of these your own students at Ryerson College, for whom you may have first developed your trademark style. The list of honors and awards you have received is endless. At AUP, we honor you today as the embodiment of the global explorer, a cross-disciplinary, cross-cultural thinker who feels, in the words of our mission, a sense of belonging to and responsibility for a world held in common. May I invite you to address the graduates. Thank you very much. I think I forgot to say that excuse me. By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees and upon the recommendation of the faculty voting in assembly, I confer upon you, Margaret MacMillan, the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Madam President, members of the Board of Trustees, graduating class of 2019, ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed a great privilege and a great honor to be here, to be sharing with you, particularly the graduating class and their families, this extraordinary moment in your lives. It is quite something to get a degree, and you've worked for yours. I can tell you an honorary degree is much easier. So many congratulations to you. I remember my own graduation many years ago in 1966 from the University of Toronto. And what I remember about it is sitting there wishing that everyone would stop talking and I could get out and start celebrating with my friends and family. I don't remember a word that anyone said, and I don't expect you to remember a word that I'm going to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. We always give advice to students on these occasions about life, about what to do. But as I say, you probably won't remember it. I certainly didn't remember the advice that I got. So what I'm going to do is just have a few wishes for you. I wish that you will remain curious about the world in which you live, that you will continue to ask questions, you will continue to want to know what is going on, and you will want to explain what you know about the world to other people, because it is both asking questions and finding the answers and sharing those answers that I think is so important to our societies. And I also hope that you will have a deep interest in one or in many things, something that really seizes your attention, that you want to know more about, that you enjoy doing, that helps you to enjoy a full and satisfying life. My own particular interest has always been history. From the time I was quite young, I remember being interested in the past, interested in stories about the past. I have a number of reasons, I think, why I went into history. The less noble motive was that I was very curious about people. I love gossip. I love Hello magazine. I love knowing what people are up to, and I think that curiosity has helped to drive me into history. But I've also been interested in history because I think it helps us to understand the world in which we live in very important ways. History helps us to understand how we got here, how we have the institutions we have, social institutions, economic institutions, political institutions, where the ideas we have come from. Often we don't recognize that many of the ideas we have are very much rooted in history and are a product of particular histories. I think history also helps us to understand issues. I think it is impossible to understand France today, for example, unless you understand something of what France went through in the 19th and 20th centuries. That has shaped France, and it has shaped French attitudes. When you see the Gilets jaunes on the streets in Paris, they are part of a much older and revolutionary French tradition, and often call on that tradition in their demonstrations. We can't understand the tangled situation in the Middle East unless we understand something of the history of the different peoples who've been involved and the issues. I think history helps us in a very important way to understand other people, both at an individual level. You know more about your friends if you have some understanding of where they've come from, what their lives have included, perhaps what traumas or what joys they have had in those lives. And it also helps us to understand groups of people. Again, I think you can't understand others, and that is very important, unless you understand something of their history. And I also think history helps us to understand ourselves. We tell ourselves lovely stories about ourselves, and we need to look at our own histories, and we need to be aware that we haven't always been as good as we like to think we are, and we're not perhaps just like we like to think we are. I'm a Canadian, and Canadians tell themselves stories about themselves. We say we're very kind and a very gentle people, and we're very tolerant people, and there's something in that. But then some of you may have seen Canadian hockey players on the ice. I say no more. What history also does, I think, is offer us warning signs. It won't offer us very clear lessons. Don't go back to the past thinking history will offer me a blueprint of how I can manage the world, how I can manage this situation, how I can manage this person or this group of people. History doesn't do that. If anything, it can be dangerous because you can find any lesson for anything you want to do in history, and often people do, and they often do very bad things when they look for the lessons of history. But what history can be is like the signs you see on a road, where you see a warning saying, be careful, sharp curve ahead, or be careful, this hill gets icy in the winter, or be careful, there's a narrow bridge ahead which can only bear a certain load. And that's what history can do. It can give us some warning of what might happen. If you invade another country, how are the people in that country likely to react? If you get into a confrontation with another group of people or nation, how is that group of people or how is that nation going to react? And so history can give us some warning signs. What it also does, I think, is enable us to ask good questions. And unless we can ask good questions, we're never going to find answers. Life is a quest. Life is an endless searching for answers, but history at least can help us formulate answers. Now, lots of other disciplines do that as well. Economics does, politics does, and so I'm not saying history possesses all the virtues, although I think it has a great many, of course, but I do think it's important to be able to ask questions, to be able to challenge what you were being told by others. And so when we get political and social and ideological leaders telling us that history proves such and such, don't believe it. Whenever I hear someone saying history tells us, I get very suspicious indeed, because I think you need to push harder and say, what does history tell us and why are you saying that? And so what I'm going to hope for you, and again, this is not advice, is that you keep asking those questions. You are going to have a challenging world. We all know that. I suspect every generation has a challenging world, and yours will have its own particular challenges. So keep asking the questions, keep looking for the answers, keep enjoying what you're doing. And now, and your families and your friends, I hope that you have an extremely good celebration. Congratulations.
This is now the moment of awarding bachelor's and master's degrees to the class of 2019. Est-ce qu'on pourrait avoir un petit peu plus de lumière dans la salle, s'il vous plaît? Merci beaucoup. Will the January and May 2019 candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Arts please stand?
Can I come first on the program and come next?
Okay, Marc. President Schenck, Provost Fisher, Chairman Henze, I present the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Arts. They have successfully completed all requirements for the degree and have been approved for graduation by the faculty. Madam President.
By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees and upon the recommendation of the faculty, I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Arts with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining.
Please be seated. Well, the January and May 2019 candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science, please stand. President Schenck, Provost Fisher, Chairman Henze, I present the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science. They have successfully completed all requirements for the degree and have been approved for graduation by the faculty.
By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees and upon the recommendation of the faculty, I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Science with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining.
Please be seated. Will the August 2019 candidate for the degrees of Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science please stand? President Schenck, I'm pleased to present the candidates for the Bachelor of Art and Bachelor of Science who will be receiving their degrees this August upon completion of all their degree requirements. Thank you. We now turn to the Master of Arts candidates. Will the January and May 2019 candidates for the degree of Master of Arts please stand? President Schenck, Provost Fisher, Professor Golub, Professor Payne, Chairman Henze, I present the candidates for the degree of Master of Arts. They have successfully completed all requirements for the degree and have been approved for graduation by the faculty.
By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees and upon the recommendation of the faculty, I confer upon you the degree of Master of Arts with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining.
Please be seated. Will the January and May 2019 candidates for the degree of Master of Science please stand? President Schenck, Professor Fisher, Provost Fisher, Professor Ehart, Chairman Henze, I present the candidates for the degree of Master of Science. They have successfully completed all requirements for the degree and have been approved for graduation by the faculty.
By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees and upon the recommendation of the faculty, I confer upon you the degree of Master of Science with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining.
Will the August 2019 candidate for the degrees of Master of Art and Master of Science please stand? President Schenck, I'm pleased to present the candidates for the Master of Arts and the Master of Science, who will be receiving their degrees this August upon completion of all their degree requirements. You be seated. All of today's graduates become alumni as they walk across the stage. It's a tradition at the American University of Paris to initiate graduates into the worldwide community of AUP alumni. I now call on Mary MacLean Evans, Vice President for Presidential Initiatives.
Good morning, and as you know, I was very excited to speak with you today. If you're following along in the program, you know that I am between you and your diploma, so I promise graduates to keep this brief. But I do want to congratulate you all and your families and your friends who are here for this glorious day, and to welcome each of you to the alumni ranks of the American University of Paris. This is indeed a wonderful day to mark your accomplishments of your academic career, and I hope you enjoy every single moment of today. You came to us as global explorers, as my colleague, the Provost, said. You leave as full global citizens, and we will send you back to the four corners of the earth and beyond, very likely in your lifetimes, to wonderful lives ahead. The future might seem uncertain at this point, and it is, because all you can count on is change, change, and more change. Your lives ahead will include multiple careers and many jobs and lots of other opportunities. But as you navigate these twists and turns, rely on and know that your AUP education has prepared you for all of this and more. Your education has prepared you as global citizens to face the challenges of the world, and your AUP family will support you on this journey. And as you venture far, don't forget about AUP. Please stay in touch with one another and with your faculty members. Those of us on this campus who care deeply about you and your professional and personal success, let us know where you are. Tell us where you are on these four corners of the globe. And please stay in touch and come back often. As you receive your diploma today, which we know you'll probably put up in your home or offices in a beautiful frame, and if you don't, your mother or dad will, trust me, they will keep track of that diploma very carefully. Your fellow alumni and my colleagues, Amber Cooper and Christina Keenan, will also present our gift to you, which is an AUP luggage tag. And use it. We want you to put that right on your suitcases. Please put it on whatever, or your purse or your backpack. Take it with you, because we know we'll go far, and we want you to have the mark of the university with you as you go. And as your particular AUP chapters, we ask you to use that luggage tag to tell the story of AUP, this remarkable institution, and your experience here as you travel all over the world. Start conversations in train stations and airports and rent-a-car places. Anywhere you are, please just tell the world about AUP and your wonderful achievements here. Congratulations to you all, and very best wishes.
Now, this is my favorite part, when I get to read all the names of the candidates for the degrees of Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Science, Master of Arts, Master of Science. So if you stand one row at a time, please, people seated behind you will be able to see the stage. So just one row at a time, okay? Although I know it's an exciting time for all of you, I would ask the audience to please refrain from applauding as much as possible. Till it's over, then everybody can applaud, and this way we'll speed up the whole process, and we'll get to the cocktail faster. And I'll need some water, if possible, at some point, because the names are a challenge. Thank you. So bear with me if I mispronounce. Bachelor of Arts. Mohammed Abdel Mahmoud Abdel Halil. Cum laude, departmental honors in international comparative politics. Heidi Abirashed. Ania Tarek Abwel Makarem. Alexandra Maria Sero Marina. Mushari Aluregi. Amal Al-Fakir, magna cum laude. Shahad Alisa. Ana Victoria Almasan Chavez. Saneh Alwazen, magna cum laude, Department of Honors in International Comparative Politics. Joshua Alston. Aisha Hamad Altani. Kian Amini. Sienna Marie Amoroso. Ava Louise Andrea, cum laude. Christina Arivadze. Tamar Asatiani. Mehmet Emre Atsu. Veronica Andrea Ayala Cobos, magna cum laude, Department of Honors, Global Communications, GPS program. Isabella Wilder Ayat, cum laude. Shadi Ayubi. Annabelle Bashur. Alisa Genese Nicole Belton. Aziz Benayed. Ophir Yakovs Bendor, summa cum laude, Department of Honors in Comparative Literature. Charlotte Eleonore Béraud Barboteau. Bea Masaga Josue. Mathieu Blazevich. Bliss Bonnen. Paul Robert Brackett. Lexi Oshie Bright, cum laude. William Christopher Bright. Leona Françoise Cannon, cum laude, GPS program. Amanda Catherine. John Dalla Centeno. Salome Sheishvili. Tamarin Kotu. Tom Michel Laurent Courbin. Rachel Kreger. Forrest Krellin, magna cum laude, Department of Honors in Global Communications. Muriel Marguerite Dalvet. Camille Marie Delon, cum laude. Yasmina Nancy Diakite. Doha Jerby, summa cum laude, Department of Honors in Gender, Sexuality and Society, GPS program. Lauren Gelisa Domagas, magna cum laude, Department of Honor in Creative Writing, GPS program. Hélène Djibishashvili. Madison Chloe Eastman. Frances Grace Eby, magna cum laude, departmental honors in history, GPS programs, departmental honors in psychology. Stuart Norbert Edwards, cum laude, departmental honors in global communications. Angela Herari. Noor Ahmed El-Talawi, cum laude. Khalid Christinas Elagan, GPS program. Salma Imad Al-Saban. Manuela Cristina Fernandez Brienburg, cum laude. Elisa Kathleen Feig. Kristen Elizabeth Flagg. Dalton Campbell Michael Folsch. Carolina Mariana Galbiati. Mateo Alejandro Galindo Cubedes. Annelise Gaston Carrère, cum laude. Barbara Georgiadis. Masato Sean Goda, Department of Honors in Film Studies. Grace Huri Gozdanian. Gabrielle Green, GPS program. Rory Hewen Green, cum laude, departmental honors in international economics. Hannah Magdalena Gressler, magna cum laude. Gabrielle Hélène Guichard. Ali Hamsho, cum laude. Christian Felding Holly. Eleanor Sarah Hartwell. Farah Amber Ayat, cum laude. Oliver Edward Ross Henry, cum laude, departmental honors in history. Thank you. Taylor Jen Henry. Rebecca Lynn Herr, cum laude, GPS program. Lawrence Hewitt. Teresia Hickson. Camille Sage Humphrey, magna cum laude, departmental honors in art history. Aline Isambert. Seth Norman Jackson. Joanne Preston Jessiman, cum laude. Rebecca Sophie Jetter, cum laude. Danielle Ann Jewett. Maximilian Joely, cum laude. Jasmine Olivia John, cum laude, Departmental Honors in Science, Health and Environmental Science. Bruce Jonathan. Elizabeth Anna Jovanovic. Iram Khan. Anastasia Katachinskaya, cum laude, Departmental Honors in Comparative Literature. Chelsea Kessler Bausfeld, magna cum laude, Departmental Honors in International Business Administration. Irene Kundadze. Sophie Marianne King. Anna Kristen, summa cum laude, Departmental Honors in Psychology. Danielle Kuloli, magna cum laude, Departmental Honors in International Economics. Alison Olivia Levy. Charlotte Annelise Lewis, Departmental Honors in Creative Writing. Natasha Yu Han Ling. Toma Costa Lopez, summa cum laude, Departmental Honors in Global Communication GPS Program. Natasha Rose Ma. Kun Undum Pinsenpong Mao. Claudio Erbosch Marquez. Noela Fatuma Matata, GPS Program. Katerina Anna McGrath, GPS Program. Karen Fish McTay, cum laude. Yuko Medviji, magna cum laude, Departmental Honors in Art History. Olivier Kyle Menazi. Go. Go on this way.
But I want to congratulate you.
Okay. It's the fur. Luis Felipe Montero. Aya Morsi. Nuran Morsi. Oliver Philip Augustus Mold. Alicia Nafilian. Kayo Nakamura, magna cum laude, Departmental Honors in Psychology. Emmanuel Alain Negede. Mike Nuno, Departmental Honors in International Economics. Jamie Nyquist, magna cum laude, Departmental Honors in Film Studies GPS Program. Lauren Francis O'Farrell, cum laude, GPS Program. Hélène Marie Opsal, magna cum laude, Diploma Honors in International Comparative Politics. Cassandra Nicole Ovalle, GPS program. Oluwaseun Osuolua Osumbade. Quentin Attila Pelasti. Carlotta Parmigiani. Maura Lucy Patrick, GPS program. Sofia Yaknel Penton. Maria Perez Munoz, cum laude. Alice Preet.
Good luck with this one.
Laili Eleanor Rathiresht. Electra Louise Rahel, cum laude, Diploma Honors in International Comparative Politics, GPS program. Camila Rodriguez Lafuente. Dino Vittorio Romeo. Eleanor Rousseau. Mali K. Shiroper, GPS program. Stephanie Alexie Russell, magna cum laude, Diploma Honors in Film Studies. Fernanda Sapinha Perez, magna cum laude, Diploma Honors in Global Communications, GPS program. Lily Sophie Schreiter, summa cum laude, Diploma Honors in Art History, Diploma Honors in History. Clark Audrey Schwartz, cum laude. Talene Michelle Shahinian. Zohan Chen, GPS program. Émilie Jean-Claude Sidibe, GPS program. Isabel Alessandra Sijo, magna cum laude, Diploma Honors in History. Jeanette Brianne Smith, cum laude. David Atticus Sommer. Tiabi So. Madeleine Genevieve Saint-Pierre. Noah Stedman. Jada Stewart. Sarah Hélène Sturman, summa cum laude, Diploma Honors in Comparative Literature, GPS program. Charlotte Noah Denise Sultan, GPS program. Mariam Tamasashvili. Michaela Taylor. Afinatu Awatiem. Safia Thompson. GPS program. Susan Timmers, Suzanne, magna cum laude, Diploma Honors in Psychology. Elizabeth Kmeladze, Sorry about that. Magna cum laude, Departmental Honors in International Business Administration. Willem Joël van der Veen. Tamari Vayakitsde, Magna cum laude, Departmental Honors in Philosophy. Fabio Vidal. Eric van Knoring. Evgenia Dimitrova Vucheva, GPS program. Sandrine Magali Soraya Wasley, cum laude, GPS program. Jacqueline Emma Wegworth, magna cum laude, Departmental Honors in Global Communication, GPS program. Hannah Frances Vilhelm, magna cum laude. Dorian Yosa, cum laude. Mahmoud Zahir, magna cum laude. Roy Aladad. Jean-Marie Anselmi, magna cum laude, Department of Honors in Computer Science, Math, and Environmental Science, GPS program. Oscar Kastenfeld. Oops, sorry. Quinn Harding Chesser. Kay Jama, GPS program. Bachelor of Science. Jean-Jacques Coppoli Fikiri. Mariam Jijinava, cum laude, Departmental Honors in International Business Administration. Mohamed Karim Argug. Salim Unaidi. Faye Alexei Lofketer. Adam Leba, Honors, Department of Honors in Computer Science, Math, and Environmental Science. Sophie Leslie Locci, Department of Honors in Computer Science, Math, and Environmental Science. Amelia Rose Mayberry. Remy Quentin Mimouni. Jonathan Morales. Ayesha Mutiara. Kyle Stephen Rader. Nani Sutidze, Department of Honors in International Business Administration. Mariam Tuimi Benjeloun, GPS program. Justin Jager van der Tol. Tristan Vincent. Master of Arts in Global Communications.
They have to stop for their directors to come up, the masters.
Please. Krista Elizabeth Beck. Michaela Desney Brown, graduate involvement. Nicolette Murray Jordan. Emily Ann Ide, graduate involvement. Richard John Klein. Cody Manick, graduate involvement. Sarah Emily Moskovitz. Erin Marie Strine, graduate involvement. Keishla Marie Vega Flores. Master of Art in Global Communications Fashion Track. Laura Juliana Diaz-Tachenko. Ana Belén Gomez Hinojosa, graduate involvement. Janice Lewis. Olivia Marie Catherine Martel. Lindsay Obstrutz. Sana Vinette Rasmussen. Christina Marie Scarlett. Sabrina Brenda Sholkovsky. I was about to say. Master of Arts in Global Communication, Visual and Material Culture track. Emily Marie Beaupre. Master of Arts in Global Communication, Development Communications. Simon Masasusi. Beatriz Gonçalves Salgado. Global Communication, Digital Cultures and Industries. Gabrielle Lucia Brown. Ebony Nicole Graham, graduate involvement. Jody Elizabeth Snyder. Master of Arts in Diplomacy and International Law. Grace Elizabeth Cunningham.
Congratulations.
Courtney Danielle Kelly, graduate involvement.
Congratulations.
Nina Anita Moradi, graduate involvement.
Congratulations.
Catherine Mounier Desroches. Nicole Elizabeth Santiago, graduate involvement. Master of Arts in International Affairs. Mary Sue Bickle. Kelly Ann Demchanik. Alicia Keikara Kiidza. Ndayuru Athenais Grace Okemba. Beatrix Claire Toby. Master of Arts in International Affairs, Conflict Resolution and Civil Society Development. Nicole Elizabeth Curran, graduate involvement. Patricia Molinos Ruperez. Master of Arts, Master of Science in International Management. Timothy Donovan King. International Management, NGO and Mission-Based track. Agil Dumskite. Shannon Kayla Henry. Folly Ann Sawyer. International Management Sustainability Systems track. Nicolas Dylan Bandouardena. Tiffany Violet Padilla. That's it. Whew. Mr. Chairman, Madam President, this concludes the conferral of the Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Science, Master of Arts, Master of Science degrees. To indicate your status now as university graduates and alumni, this is getting complicated, so bear with me, okay? Remember, right, left, when you tied your shoes, mommy? Same thing. So, bachelors, please shift the tassel of your hat from right to left. Then masters, from left to right. Please join me in applauding the 2019 graduates. This is... on pourrait avoir un petit peu de lumière, s'il vous plaît, un peu plus de lumière sur les graduates encore. This is now the time, if you like joining the tradition, to throw your hats up in the air. Now, let's see. Yay! Now you can go pick it up. No. Okay. It's now time for the speakers, the student speakers. The following senior speaker was elected by her peers of the senior class. She's also a recent graduate in global communications with a minor in comparative political communication. I now call on Léona Françoise Cannon.
Good morning, friends, family, faculty, and staff. And good morning, graduates. We finally threw our hats, and in a few minutes, we can finally drink our champagne, which will celebrate the end of our AUP adventure. Today, as your senior speaker, I'm supposed to speak on behalf of the graduating class. Quite a tricky task with such a diverse group of people. A good place to start would be to thank our families, friends, and sponsors. For many of us, AUP wouldn't have been a reality without you. It was you who motivated us, advised us, and helped us make the leap to Paris. I'd like to take a moment to thank my family. Dankjewel mama, papa, Roweina, and Christian. I am eternally grateful for your endless love and support, and for supporting me on this adventure. The Parisian adventure wasn't all wine and sunshine, even though we did have a lot of it. We had to face new challenges, adapt to a fast-paced world, and be packed like sardines on the Line 8 metro rush hour. It took quite a few to get here. Moving to Paris was hard work. It was a challenge to explore the world. For some of us, it was our first time in a liberal arts setting, and for others, it was the first time leaving our home. But for most of us, we had no idea what we were doing. Paris is a city one has to embrace in order to create a home. And we, the class of 2019, made it just that, a home. We picnicked on the Champ de Mars, drank wine along the Seine, and ate baguettes and cheese for more meals than I can count. Paris has been the place to test our fashion styles, and learning that there is more to it than wearing black all the time, even if our gowns show otherwise. University is a time for us to shape who we are and to surround ourselves with people that challenge us and love us. It's been a time to meet people from all over the globe, from San Diego, California to the Gold Coast of Australia. It has been a time to challenge our existing identities, and learned that life barges through the door at the most unexpected times. And when life brought joy, challenges, and tragedy to our friends and to the city of Paris, we found comfort in each other, in our AUP community. It has been both my parental family and my AUP family that have encouraged me to be myself and to follow my passions. Up until a month ago, I knew exactly what I was doing after AUP. I was going to go to grad school in Amsterdam. But both of my families confronted me. Was this really the choice that would keep me passionate and happy? So instead, with their help, I decided to choose for the things that inspire me and that passion me. I chose happiness in this life of mine, and my fellow graduates, I hope that you do too. Coming into AUP 3 or 4 years ago, we had no idea what road was ahead of us. And as we move forward with our lives, some of us might still be uncertain about what lies ahead. But today, something is different. We're going into the great unknown with our chosen selves and our chosen families, embarking upon a path that is right for us. And so, before we go off into the real world, whether that will take us to a different arrondissement, city, or country, I'd like to say thank you. For it is you, my fellow graduates, who for the past 3 years have made AUP my home, our home. As we close our time at AUP, I would like to ask you all to remember the vibrant, fast-paced life of Paris, and to take these experiences and look at the future with excitement and eagerness. Now go out there and change the world with your passion and hard work. Thank you and congratulations to us. Congratulations to the class of 2019.
Thank you, Leona. The following graduate speaker was elected by her peers too. She also is a recent graduate in diplomacy and international law. I now call on Courtney Danielle Kelly.
Distinguished guests, faculty, alumni, family, and friends, and to my fellow graduates, good morning. My name is Courtney Danielle Kelly, and I am honored to say, Class of 2019, our day has arrived. We are global explorers. Here at the American University of Paris, we're taught to fearlessly cross cultural and geographical boundaries, find solutions for global problems, and to think critically in the face of conventional wisdom. But it's daunting to communicate your ideas in a foreign language, make sense of culture shock, and learn about the different boundaries of your identity, all in the span of a couple of months. But the good news is, I've already seen you do this. I've seen you confidently navigate French bureaucracy with your novice language skills. I've seen your passion as you talk about your countries and how you plan to fix them. And for my classmates in diplomacy and international law, I've seen you go toe-to-toe with the military and remind them that even in the fog of war, to always remember humanity. I have faith that we will use our passions, skills, and education to make a difference, no matter where we are on the map. And these past few months have taught me incredible lessons. 3 lessons that we learn in foreign countries and moments that change our life. First, your silence serves no one. The world is full of problems that needs answers, but unless you speak out, nothing changes, and it never will. Second, you are capable. Remember that fear and anxiety during orientation week? When you asked yourself 1,000,000 times if moving to Paris was the right decision. Guess what? It was. Guess what? You made it. Third, embrace your difference. I'm a girl from Los Angeles, and since my time at AUP, I have learned 4 languages and have been to 12 countries. And it's this global aspect of my identity that makes me connect to all of you. Because here at AUP, we're all foreigners at one point or another. And because of that, You have become beacons of inspiration to me. You've taught me that home is more than a place on a map. It's your favorite bar at Bestie, that charming bookstore in London, or your favorite coffee house in Amsterdam. And it's the people that make you feel like family. And at AUP, I was lucky enough to find friends that encouraged me, opinions that inspired me, and advice that I respected. You made me feel at home in Paris. Today, we should be proud. Proud that we took the unconventional path and succeeded. Proud of the places that we have been and all the wonderful things that we have accomplished. But as you consider your next step, I hope you are never conventional. Do not follow the crowd, because being conventional never made a difference. Steve Jobs once said, "Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs and square holes, the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of the rules. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them. But the one thing you can't do is ignore them, because they push the human race forward. While some may see the crazy ones, we see genius, because the ones who are crazy enough to think that they can change the world are the ones who do." I could think of no better words for a class of such mavericks. I am honored to be here with each and every one of you. You did it. You see your world differently. Now, class of 2019, let's go change the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Courtney Daniel. It's now time to close this ceremony, which I hope you enjoyed as much as I did. I call upon Sylvie Loudon, the newly elected president of the Graduate Student Council, to return the mace to Professor Rosenstein. Now I would like to ask our faculty marshal, Professor Roy Rosenstein, to lead the recessional, beginning with the platform, party, and followed by the faculty. The graduates will be exiting along the aisle on their left. I ask our guests to remain seated until the end of the recessional, at which time we invite you to join in a reception honoring our graduates in the lobby of the theater. Upstairs, as you exit, and this includes the graduating students, please disperse so as not to block egress from the auditorium. Refreshments are located in the ground floor lobby, but mostly on the balcony level with a big cocktail area. I do invite some of you graduating students to join your families upstairs. Finally, a word of thanks to the theater staff. Mesdames et messieurs du Théâtre Mogador, nous voulions profiter de cette occasion pour vous exprimer notre gratitude pour l'accueil que vous nous avez réservé cette année encore une fois. Merci à tous. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you.